Order in the court. I'll call this meeting to order, the hour being 7 o'clock. Let's have anybody that's not a city staff member lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm glad you reminded me. So just to let everybody know, Councilman Zimmerman reminded me, Councilman Shuttrin won't be here tonight. They have a shutdown out at the mine, and he's going to be busy till midnight, apparently. So he won't be here. So with that, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilman Zimmerman to approve the agenda, seconded by Councilman Berg. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Item 4, citizen requests and other communications. Are there any citizens in the audience that are not on the agenda that would like to address the council? Okay, seeing none, I'm moving on. Item 5, board and committee appointments. Appointment of Amanda Potts to the Planning and Zoning Commission. Do we have a motion?
Mayor,
Councilwoman Bushman.
I move to confirm the mayor's appointment of Amanda Potts to the Planning and Zoning Commission for a 3-year term beginning September 1st, 2021 and expiring August 31st, 2024.
Second.
Is that you, Jim?
Yeah.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilman Bushman, seconded by Councilman Zimmerman. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. And I will note that Amanda's in the audience and we'd like to thank you for volunteering. Okay. And with that, I'm going to take a 30-second so that in case somebody wanted to leave now that they've been appointed, they can do so. Thank you, ladies. Okay, item B, reappointment of Tina Potter to the Planning and Zoning Commission. Do we have a motion?
Mayor,
Councilman Burke.
I move to confirm the mayor's reappointment of Tina Porter to the Planning and Zoning Commission for a 3-year term beginning September 1st, 2021 and expiring August 31st, 2024.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilman Berg, seconded by Councilman Kilpack. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Moving along very slowly, item 6, resolutions. Item A, consideration of a resolution for the carryover projects for fiscal year 2022. And here comes our finance director.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. You'll notice this revolution, we do it every year. We budget current projects or new projects in the budget, and we don't budget current projects when we do the budget every year. So this is to allow us to do our ongoing projects that we already have. This year, you'll notice it is a little different than in the past. In the past, we normally have a fair amount of general fund carryover as well. We used all of the general fund carryover this year to balance the budget. So we have only about $60,000 in some grant projects and bids that were coming across or awarded projects already in general fund, which wasn't very many. The capital projects, the ones you'll see about 1.9 million are pretty much our standard ones. You see them about every year. There's always some airport monies. CDC building, we have a six penny reserve for that. When that building was built with 6 penny, that we are drawing that reserve down to pay for the building upkeep and that. Russian Olive project is a grant. The land grant is the LCWF grant you guys did on the Greenbelt, on Riverside Park, right in that area. We aren't going to do that project this year. It's probably going to be funded for next year, but we still do have to carry it over. The $6.99 is the payment overlay and 6 penny stuff and that Mark and them are working on now. Some of the slurry seals in there as well. As the next one down, you'll see there's some slurry seal monies, and that's for our slurry and Cape Seal stuff. The SkyWest is the revenue guarantee that we have with SkyWest with the airport. We do a contract with that every year. In fact, we're probably going to see something from Devin fairly shortly on that as well. We try to only fund as little but that. So if there's any savings from that, we fund it in the next fiscal year. Last year, like I said, we had 176,000 carryover on that, mainly because nobody flew. And then the UP project, we've got a little bit of money to do some things with that every year. And then a YDOT compliance grant is in there. And then in our utility funds, I'll start with the non-sticker shock one first, is the water one. We're doing a SCADA project. That's a multiple year project. Same with the meter replacement. We're finishing up that project as well. That's about a 5-year project for us. And then they've got some carryover on some equipment we've bid out and that we're going to be purchasing, and that's in the admin account, a backhoe and a truck on there. And then the water program is just some water enhancements that we're doing, like the Indian Hills and that area for that project. We'll jump back up to wastewater here. SCADA project again. The wastewater is doing a lot of SCADA, mainly for not the next item, but the second item. The admin one is the water. They split some equipment purchase and truck purchase with water. But then you'll notice there's a $28 million item on there. That's not in our typical carryover, but we added that into the carryover resolution as we sent the wastewater treatment plant out to bid today or yesterday. It should hit the paper on Thursday, and it hit the print houses already today. And so that's $28 million on that. We'll also have to recognize a $28 million loan or revenue component to that project as well, which you'll notice that's why the total project is $59 million for the resolution in total. I'll entertain any questions if you guys have any.
Anybody have any questions for Chris? Well, you must have done a good job of explaining, Chris. Nice.
That or they're like, I don't want to listen to him anymore.
Okay, we'll entertain a motion then. Go ahead.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Zimmerman.
I move to approve the resolution increasing the city funds for the fiscal year carryover in the amount of $59,316,300.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilman Zimmerman, seconded by Councilman Kilpack. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? It's unanimous. Item B, consideration of a resolution accepting grant funds from the State Farm Foundation. Chief?
Mayor and council, a little bit ago, we were approached by State Farm, who talked about having some grant opportunities and wanted to support some local programs. Jamie Green, our public relations and evidence tech, worked with them on ideas that would be suitable for their goals and ours. And one thing that we came up with was having a driver simulation program that we can take to schools, have at community events, just try and educate our younger drivers on distracted driving primarily, as well as impaired driving, those types of things. Initially, that project was way out of the bounds of what State Farm was able to do in our area. And she's been sharpening her pencil and getting quotes and has whittled it down and found something that we believe is going to fit within what we have to work with. So this would be accepting a grant from State Farm in the amount of $5,000. And I'll go ahead and cover C at the same time, because the fire department is tired of responding to crashes with injured people as well, and decided they'd put their money where their mouth is and help support this project as well, to the tune of $600. So both B and C would be resolutions to accept those funds towards this project.
Okay, council, do you have any questions for the chief on either of those? Okay, well, let's start with thanks, Tom. Let's start with item B then. We have a motion. Councilman Kilpack.
I move to approve the resolution accepting grant funds from the State Farm Foundation in the amount of $5,000 for the purchase of a driving simulator for the GRPD.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilman Kilpack, seconded by Councilman Berg. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Again, it's unanimous. And moving on to item C, the chief explained that. Do we have a motion?
Mayor,
Councilwoman Bushman, sorry.
I move to approve the resolution accepting the donation from the Green River Fire Department Social Fund in the amount of $600 for the purchase of the driving simulator for the Green River Police Department.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilwoman Bushman, seconded by Councilman Zimmerman. Any discussion? And all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Again, it's unanimous. Item 7, council action items. Consideration to award the bid for 6 new patrol SUVs and 1 fire command vehicle.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. You thought you were done with me. Actually, I got the last 2 items, so you're stuck with me for a minute. The vehicle replacement program for the patrol and the fire command vehicles, the council went the direction of several years ago going to a lease program. During COVID, we didn't continue that lease very well, and we need to kind of catch up, which is why you're seeing 6 vehicles here and then 1 command truck on that. The option is the state statutes are a little antiquated in Wyoming. We have to bid every new vehicle regardless if we're going to lease it or buy it. So we have to bid it. We don't have a choice. And so it's kind of a leasing agent's nightmare. But what we'll do on this is we'll bid these vehicles and then we'll work with a leasing agent. We'll lease these vehicles for 5 years. This will include the vehicles and all their upfitting. It was put out to bid. We did put the bid is being awarded to the bidder that met all specifications. Turnaround, I guess that's one of the other questions that we've heard is roughly 9 months is when we think we're going to get these. We hope. Give or take 6 or 8 months. Tom will shoot me for saying that, but the plan is about 6 months to redo this almost same bid and to get the rotations, because we figured if it might take 9 months, we'll see how fast these start coming in. What we want to do is try to get a rotation where we're rotating about 4 vehicles a year is the plan. And then the fire department to command vehicle 1 about every other year. That's the plan, to keep those vehicles in rotation.
All right. Thank you, Chris. Does anybody have any questions of Chris? Nope. Okay, we'll entertain a motion.
Mayor,
Councilman Jost.
I move we award the bids for 6 new sport utility vehicles upfitted for the PD and 1 4x4 truck to Spradley Bar Motors and allow the city to lease the vehicles.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilman Jost, seconded by Councilman Bushman. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Again, it's unanimous. Item B, consideration to approve an agreement for citywide printer maintenance.
So Mayor and Council, first off, I'm going to apply for the length of this, or apologize for the length of this motion. See, I can't even say it. Feel sorry for one of you having to tonight. The city has a set of fleet of copiers and printers, basically. They call them MFPs, multiple function printers, and then regular printers. We don't have the staff to maintain them or the expertise, so we contract out with a company every 3 years to do that for us. We did put this out for an RFP and solicited a couple of proposals. Talking with some of the council, or not some of the council, some of the department heads and some of the people that use these, we have decided to switch our vendor this year to one that we've had in the past that done an excellent job for us. And that is the plan for this, is to do that. Cost is a bit more, I'll be honest with you. But the level of service from the other vendor staff felt was significantly greater. And in fact, there's some glaring items in the current machines that should have been done in preventive maintenance that we need to fix. So that one of the reasons we went with a little bit higher bid, or higher pricing this time. but it is still competitive.
Okay, anybody have any questions of Chris? It's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, let's have a motion then.
Mayor,
Councilman Kilpack.
I move to approve the maintenance agreement with Copy and Supply Company Incorporated for the city printers. The governing body hereby finding that the commitment of Copier and Supply Company Incorporated to provide the maintenance service specified for the term of years specified has been determined to constitute a significant benefit and advantage to the city and the public, and that such services are not readily or economically available to the city in the absence of an extended term contract pending legal approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Kilpack and a second by Councilman Berg. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Chief, good to see you tonight.
Good to see you again. It seems like police department's on a lot of things. Did you want to read the title before I address it?
I'm sorry.
Oh, did you want to read the title before I address it, or do you want me to just jump into it?
No, just go ahead, Tom.
Okay, so item C, you have before you is consideration authorize the submission of a coronavirus emergency supplemental funds subgrant to the Wyoming Division of Criminal Investigation. As part of the first CARES Act funding that came out, a carve out was made that was going to go directly to larger police departments and sheriff's offices across the country, and then the ability to apply for another grant that could go to some of the smaller agencies. We didn't qualify for the large chunk, but DCI put in for the grant that could be then distributed throughout the state. It was to the tune of a little over $2 million. That's been being awarded a little bit at a time over the last year and a half. And they recently received guidance at DCI and actually just put it out to the rest of the police departments and sheriff's offices across the state today that they've been contacted by the Department of Justice, who's administering this, and told that you need to think about impacts you've had with coronavirus, or that you might in maybe a broader sense than you have been so far, so that this grant can be awarded as it was intended to be awarded. I knew this was coming and been thinking about things that have changed for us. And the one thing that has is that our ability to interoperate with Rock Springs Police Department is changing in the very near future, because they're having different types of wirelink towers coming into their community that we do not have radios that can work with. So if we have to go over there and help them because they're short-staffed because of COVID, then this fits into that grant very well. I don't know whether or not we will be likely to get the full amount I'm going to apply for. And I'll probably put two options in the grant, one for a smaller number of radios as well. The number I gave you on the council form is been updated. I got an actual firm quote today. So the amount of the grant that I'd like to apply for is $145,182.84.
182.84.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Does anybody have any questions of the chief? Okay, we have a motion. Councilman Zimmerman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move to authorize the police department to submit a CESF subgrant application to the Wyoming Division of Criminal Investigation in the amount of $145,182.84 for the purchase of portable radios.
Second.
Is that you, Sherry? Okay, it's been moved by Councilman Zimmerman, seconded by Councilwoman Bushman. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Let's have a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilman Berg, seconded by Councilman Zimmerman. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Mr. City Administrator.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Just a couple of quick things. Just as a reminder, school is starting up tomorrow. Don't be heavy on the gas. You're going to get pulled over. Everyone starts to, we have a number of new intersections, especially down in that Lincoln middle school area. So just be cautious on that. Also, I'm sure Mayor will talk about it, but the River Fest this week is this weekend. Get your tickets. Get your duck race tickets as well. I'm not sure how many they have left, but they are, they always sell out on the shrimp boil on that side. Last thing, you may have seen in the update, but the census numbers had come out. We had them by the county, now we have them by the city. And thank God we're not Wamsutter in terms of losing 55% of the population. But we did go down. It is going to impact our sales dollars that we receive in the city. But we did some calculations. It's somewhere in the neighborhood of $200,000 with an upside to that based on we're going to still run some calcs on it. We'll do that, but we did budget for that at some level. We don't know when that's going to start happening in terms of when it'll come through, but hopefully we can get out of this COVID side and get back on track on some of this to help take care of that. So that's all I have.
Thanks, Reed. Mr. City Attorney.
I have no report tonight, Your Honor.
Thank you, Galen. Okay, where did we start? We'll start with Councilman Zimmerman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This weekend, of course, is the River Festival, and that's looking forward to that. But next weekend, August 27th and 28th, is the 2021 Spaceport Days. So just want to bring that up, and it'll be Friday night from starting at 8 p.m. Dress up as your favorite alien. I mean, I don't know if you noticed or not, but Mark's dressed up tonight. If you don't think this is going to be fun, look at the fun that's on his shirt. So this will be fun. And then we're having a movie that night, and it's going to be Monsters versus Aliens that night. And then Saturday, we'll start with breakfast at 8 a.m. and a lot of aircraft and a lot of fun meeting up at the airport. So please come out. And we'll also give a plug for Shop Local and Buy American. Please, please. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman. Yeah, that's a fun one too. I like to go up there and have breakfast and watch the planes fly in, and it's always a good thing. Councilman Berg.
Yes, I've got one thing tonight, and it's one of those, I hate putting city staff on spot. I really do, but sometimes it's called for because of emails and telephone calls, stuff like that. You got Mark, I'm sorry, I got to put you on the spot tonight. I've had a lot of comments and concerns, and people actually excited on the other half of that as far as all the street projects that are going on in the city. The comments and complaints that I'm getting are the communication. And specifically one that I'll bring up is a constituent that talked to me that lives on Iowa Street. And I understand the frustration. I didn't know until a day and a half before that was all starting myself living up in that neighborhood. But there's confusion on where they can park, when they have to park there, when they can access their own driveways, when can they be on the street, when can't they be on the street. And I talked to Andy. Andy clarified a lot of it for me, but even after I emailed back the constituent and explained to him that part of it's done, the grading's done, the gravel's laid, you can't access your street. They're all, well, this would have been nice to know. I've got company coming up. When are they coming back? And I couldn't answer the second part on the return email. So I tried.
So thank you, Councilmember, Mayor, Council. Mark Westensco, Public Works Director. We have been working on what was it called, a Cape Seal project. It's a pavement preservation technique that we're working on this summer. We're doing about 6 miles of road, which is a pretty substantial chunk of roadway. It's about 10% our surface of the roads. Communication, I will admit that some of the communication and some of the early flagging was a little bit challenging. It's a 3-step process that we've been going through. The first step was to do patching. They identified some areas that really needed to be taken out and addressed with hot mix asphalt to shore the street up. The second step was the chip seal, which has recently been done. That step can be parked on, they can get on it. And actually access to that was pretty quick after it passed through. The next step will be a slurry seal, which we've done in the past. Slurry seal requires that people stay off the road for a couple of hours, few hours, because that's going to be the top coat of asphalt that will require a little bit of time to break for that asphalt to harden up and cure. That's going to top all that, the chip seal. The chips are exposed right now and benefiting from a little bit of traffic on them in the good hot weather. They're getting nice and seated in there, and that's not a bad thing. Normally, we would have had the chip seal folks, or the slurry seal folks back already, but apparently someone on their crew, someone's on their crew has been quarantined for COVID, and their schedule has been uprooted due to that. We do expect them back about the end of the month. The 31st or September 1st is that target week. A little bit of the communication is due to the fact that they are working in an area that the garbage day is the middle of the week. So depending on production, they were optimistic about how much production they could do a day, but knowing that if production does not match expectations, they'll need to put certain things off to the next day. Next day might be garbage day, which in the particular case of the area around Smiths, they were able to leave it for the morning and get back on in the afternoon after they rolled everybody's can out of the way. So they've been making accommodations for that. They will be back here, not next week, but the week after, to finish that up. And we appreciate everyone's patience on that one. We're really optimistic about that as a surface treatment for pavement preservation. Gives a lot of mileage for not the kind of money. I mean, Chris talked about the carryover on that job. That whole job's about $700,000. We're getting 6 miles. It's a surface treatment. It's not applicable for roads such as some of them that we have that I liken it to an injury to your body. You can put a Band-Aid on a lot of things. You can put a bandage, you can put a wrap, you can put a cover. There's different ways of treating a surface injury. But when you need surgery, you need surgery. And we have some roads out there that need surgery, and this is not the appropriate treatment for them. So I just thank everyone for their patience. They can park on it, they can drive on it now, but then that week when they come back, and we'll get notice out on that again, that they'll be coming back, they'll need to leave it for that amount of time for that slurry seal to cure, just like we've done that slurry seal in town for many, many years.
How are the notifications going out? Just out of curiosity.
We have worked with Steve to get things out on the city website and the city Facebook. The contractor actually has gone out and given flyers to every home on a street that they're working on, or placed them in on the windshield of vehicles that are still there the next day. So there have been multiple ways of getting that out. And we can work with Steve to work on other ways of reaching out and making sure, that's the trouble, is how do you reach people where they are?
Right. And that's what I was thinking during the time that I was getting those telephone calls and emails was, we're in an interesting time where some people get their information off of social media. Some people still use newsprint. Some people will actually go to a website.
Yeah.
I'd actually be curious to see, out of the 12,000 people in Green River, how many people have actually gone to the city website, so how do you know when, where to go to do that? So I was glad to hear that the subcontractor is actually doing door hangers.
Yes, they are doing door
for
hangers.
the actual houses, because that's really the only guaranteed way to get.
That's
That's not even guaranteed.
That's not even
bad,
guaranteed.
but-
In the summer, somebody may have been gone. They may have come back and may have
Right,
blown off.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, all right, thank you. That's all I have, Mayor.
All right, thank you, Councilman Burke. Councilwoman Bushman.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have too much really. I think the only thing I was going to mention is I'm excited about the festival. I know a couple of us are gonna be running, not half or full or anything, but it should be fun this weekend. Was approached today. I just kind of want to bring it up and maybe we can have it in a workshop. It's something I thought of years ago, but having addresses on the street side, the curbs, because fire and police have a tough time trying to find the house sometimes. So maybe we can bring in the Boy Scouts and maybe do a fundraiser and have them do it because they do stencils for the Wyoming Cowboy. They can do the streets as well. I think that'd be very good to have because I know a lot of people get lost around here, especially when we have guests coming over. Anyways, I just want to bring that up. Other than that, thank you. That's all I have. I know I'm short.
Councilman Jost. Thank you, Sherry.
The only thing I have is that I'm not going to be here at the next meeting. I'll be up vacationing in Idaho. And so I'll miss all the festivities this weekend also. So I'll be gone for a couple of weeks, but I'm sure you guys will carry on just fine.
Thank you, George. Councilman Kilpack.
I just want to thank the Parks and Rec Department for the good job they did on the mosquitoes this summer. I didn't hardly notice any mosquitoes down along the river. And also the challenge is out for our city attorney to run in the race this Saturday with me. So we'll see if he takes it on.
All right.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Councilman Kilpack. So I just want to say the same thing. Get those duck race tickets, helps raise some money. It's also kind of fun to watch. It's not kind of it. It's lots of fun to watch. The River Festival, again, we talked about this the last meeting. That it's one of my favorite events in the shrimp boil. We do have, at least he told one of our people that the Senator Barrasso will be here. He's been here for like about 16 years in a row and missed the COVID year. So hopefully we'll see our United States Senator here. He told Mr. Core somewhere, Cody, in Cody, that he was going to be down here. So he'll certainly try to be down here. So that's always kind of an honor for the city to host our United States Senator. So with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mayor?
And Councilman Jost. Can we have a motion? Do we have a second? Seconded by Councilwoman Bushman. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 7:32.